Alrighty. Let me double check my audio is good here. Properties. Yeah, it's using the right microphone. Cool. Let me remove all this stuff I don't need anymore. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that. All right, guys, welcome to another stream here today. Or if you're watching this in the future when it gets uploaded, welcome to another video. Welcome. It's Wednesday today. We're halfway of the week, at least like work week, I guess. Hope you guys are doing great though. Okay, I think I'm good to go. I then should have removed everything I don't need anymore. Cool. All right then, guys. Well, we're gonna continue where we left off almost yesterday. I mean, yeah, yesterday, 2 days ago, when I streamed on Monday. I did do the work that I needed to do off screen, like I mentioned, because I needed to do that. I don't know why I implemented it in that way. But I was able to fix that, and it's back to working again. And now we're just gonna make it work with what we were doing. When you're chopping down the tree, be able to change it to a tree trunk, basically. And that is the plan. So I updated it so it calls this function down here instead. So don't have to worry about that. I can just delete that. So I created two functions. One will spawn the tree and the other one to remove it. So let's get these functions working. And we can get in the way. Get it done. We need the environment node actually. I probably should have this hashed though. Where was I getting the environment node from? Environment node. Maybe on the top somewhere. Oh, yeah, there it is. Does this function need it at all? I guess it does need it, right? It needs to. Oh no, that would be done in spawn tree. That's right. That's why we need it. All right, let's grab that. Let's move it out of here. And we can go to that function and have this here. I'm gonna update this to this world position. We got the scene path already. Put it to that node. I need to get the excuse me. I'll need to get the spatial chunk out of that and convert it to a spatial position. Let's get all those variables down here. We'll iterate through all of them through this iter array. I mean, another thing, I can just pass it into that function. I think that's what I want to do. Let's do that. Or should I just use it and convert it to this instead? Remember the world, so I did convert the tile map and then divide it by the. Yeah, you know what? Let's do it in here so I don't have to calculate it elsewhere when I call this function outside of this class. I think it'll be better just to be able to calculate it in here instead. Alright, so we got that world position. Let's calculate it in. We got Godot vector 2 I limit spatial position. And we'll use. We can use one of these. What is it called? Yeah, we'll use this here. And it doesn't matter which one he uses. And it's gonna be, it's already in world position, so we'll need to convert it to local 2 map. Oh, it's local 2 map, that's right. We'll do a world position. All right, and now we need to do this. And so floor, space position x divided by the flow of spatial position, spatial chunk size, and spatial chunk size. We gotta do that for the x and the y. Should probably create a function for this so I don't have to do this every time. That'll be nice. Okay, so now we have that spatial position now. And then we can get that spatial dictionary that we need. No, it's a dictionary. And we name it that. And it's gonna be the M spatial chunk of this position. Cool. So we got that. What is the index that we're using here? Ah, okay, so we need this. On the video, if we should just move this inside of this tree instead. You know what, that's probably what I'm gonna do then too. But then it means I'm gonna need all of this stuff in here too. I can pass the environment. But if I pass that in here, no, I don't need to do that. Hold on. The reason why I need this set data is because I need to set the index of this. What I can do is just pass it in here. I may need it when I call it in Game Manager when I'm chopping it down. Remember we did this stuff in here? The tree should already have that index, or the next tree that we're doing it for, and we should be able to pass it in here. Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do then. Okay, that works for me. We're passing addition, scene path. Let's do it here in the middle. And let's put in a, let's call it ID. And I just set that to there. And I think we should be golden there. Let's make sure I pass it in here. That's the IDX index. And that should be good to go. Okie dokie. Alright. Let's build it. Let's make sure it actually works. That way we can continue forward to the next part. And remembering on Monday that that error I was getting at the beginning of the stream. That's crazy, bro. I finished building already, so let's get in here. And we have to run the entire game first. Let's load. Let's just load the test one real quick. Cool. So we have the tree spawning, which is great. That's all I wanted to know. Now we can go back into doing this other stuff in here. So this is when I hit the tree. And after I hit it 3 times, then it will go to the next stage. If there's no more stages anymore, that means the tree's gone. There's nothing to do with it anymore. So what we can do in here, let's see. We'll need to get the chunk tile map in here. Chunk tile map. I'm gonna cast the what was it? The tile parent or something? Main, is it the main tile map? No, it's not the main tile map layer. There we go. Tile map layer parents. So I should be able to get the chunk out of that. And all I have to do is call chunk tile map. I actually haven't initialized this. Haven't build the body of this function yet, but this is where this will go. So we got to remove this tree out of here. So I'll need to actually get the tree. What does this function need? Is a node to D? And it's not going to tell me. Let's call it tree node, and we'll have to cast and it's not the timestamp, but I saved it in the object here, so you should have it, and we'll despawn that tree. Cool. I gotta figure out what this is doing and make sure I remove a solid point from it. Eat an A star from this because now this area is walkable. So I despawn the tree. I don't need to do that anymore. I'll keep that to do there for now. And this is where we were at last time. We're trying to figure out how to transition it to the next. And initially what I wanted to do for this tree, let's say we're doing the big tree, right? We had this big tree here. After it gets hit 3 times, I needed to transition to a tree trunk, right? So that was initially the plan, where I wanted to just update the image and change it to a tree trunk. That way I can avoid making another object visible, right? But now the more I was thinking about it, the only issue with that would be the actual collisions. I will need to update them accordingly, because this collision of this tree is a lot bigger than the collisions of the tree trunk, right? It's just a lot smaller. So I think what I'm gonna do is just swap it out. I'm just gonna make the other one visible, and to see how that hits performance and anything at all. So we'll see what happens. I'm only doing it one at a time, so it shouldn't be a big deal, but who knows? Who knows? Alright, so I have a to do here. It says I gotta despawn the previous tree. So we can just copy what I did on top of here. Actually, I will need this tile map, chunk tile map outside. So if I have access to it, let's just put it at the very top here. Right here is fine. Alright, so you can just copy this, and we can despawn this tree here. And then we gotta add a new tree, which we were trying to do here, but then I encountered some stuff. So what I gotta do instead is just do a chunk tile map spawn tree, or I shouldn't say tree, but I'd probably say something else. Spawn environment node or whatever. And how was I calling? I was not setting the position of this yet, right? So I gotta figure out that position. Most likely, before I even remove this tree, I probably should get the position of this. So you can say Godot vector 2 world position or global, and just get the global position out of here. I don't want the set, I want to get. Cool, so that fixes the problem here. And then I want to see the ID, which is the X element ID. What is this tree data coming from again? Oh, it's right here. Environment data. Where is this coming from? Is it in game environment? Oh, that's the thing we did yesterday, right? Because now we had to define it in the constructor. This entire thing that we were doing, which I don't know why they let me do it in the header, which was the error that we were getting yesterday. I mean, on Monday. So I guess that's why. Okay, I see. So we get the ID on top here using the object ID. We get the ID of that one, and then we're able to access the next ID of that tree, which ends up being a tree trunk. A tree trunk data, and in here an ID. I don't know. I need to double check if I need to use the next ID or I need to use something else. But for now, I believe we called it current theme path. I'll double check on top, and that's basically all I need to do here. I do need to call this set data index here though. Am I already doing it in here? Yep, I'm doing it already. Great. Great. Cool. So I can delete this. It was easier just to call that function. Glad I created that. And that's the next element ID. Okay, so I don't need that anymore. Let's double check that all this stuff is correct at the top though. Yeah, so we got the current scene path. It tells me what to spawn. There's no next element ID because you're a tree trunk now. And gives me the resource wood and all of that. Sweet. And it gives me what type it is as well. Ooh, look at that. I'm glad I caught that. Cool. A small tree. Stage 2, next element ID is a 1 because it points to the big tree trunk. The small tree points to the small tree trunk, which is what the index ID is, that element ID. Cool. All right. Well, let's try hitting it 3 times and let's see what's up. Actually, you know what? I need to define the remove tree real quick. I need to do the remove tree. Oh, that's not where I thought I was at. Okay. So we gotta build this body, functions body here real quick. What I can do? Where is this? Wow, these spawn nodes here. I wonder if I can. Hey, Android programmer. Welcome to the stream, buddy. And thanks for the live streams. I enjoy watching them. Reading the C++ code you write is a good practice to lessen my hatred for this language. Yeah, C++ is. It is difficult. And I know. I don't know. C++ is just a love and hate relationship right there. But yeah, thank you. Welcome to the stream. Let's see. What was What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna check to see if I had another function that passes in just a single object, or do I need to pass an array on it? Where is my... Where is my... Do I have my Eden tile map here? There it is. Yeah, I only have one. And it's fine. I can just pass in an array and do that. That shouldn't be a problemo. Okay. Well then we'll just call this and we'll pass it in. Oh, we may need to... We need to go to the spawn trees and remove it, don't we? Hold on, let's just copy the entire thing. I may need to just be able to remove. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I can reuse that function in there. I don't have to do it in both areas. Update tree node. I know we were doing something with this, but I don't know if we even use it anymore. Nope, no other place is being called. I think I was planning to use it. It ended up not working out. Oh, there we go. I was using an old tree and then a new tree. What was I planning? What was I doing on Monday? That passed in the old position, grabbed the spatial chunk. And why do I pass in the old and then the new tree in here? Was I doing the swapping here? Because it looks like I already spawned a tree node, right? What was the point of the old one? Huh. I'm gonna have to rewatch the live stream on Monday. To do in here, figure out what was I doing in here. What's this function? Watch Monday. Monday's live stream, I guess. And what today is, just so I can remember. Because I may not even remember watching this later today or tomorrow. It's not 4, it's 6-4, it's backwards. Oops. There you go. Well, I'll keep it like that. I don't remember what I was using this function for. Alright, so let's fix this thing. I do need this part here though. So might as well just copy that. We'll get the tree node. Okay. The tree node. Actually, just copy this entire thing. And we'll need to do the same thing here. Right here. So we got that spatial chunk. We got the spawn trees out of that spatial chunk. I don't need to despawn everything, so, and I don't need to clear it out either. All I want to do is to spawn trees. Oh, it's a dot, not a. I want to do an erase, and hopefully it removes this normally and pushes it back to that. I need to despawn it in the back end. So is it smart enough for me to do this instead? Pass in tree node, or do I need to create an array? I need to create an array, don't I? Alright, it's fine. I messed around with different languages, so sometimes you're able to do that. Let's do typed array. Godot node D, I guess. Tree to remove. tree to remove. And we append the tree that we're gonna remove and pass that array here. Cool. The one thing I would like to know in here, I need to know if it actually removes it out of this list. So we'll get the size, and then we'll get the size afterwards. And it doesn't like it, so it doesn't like it at all. One more. There we go. We'll get the previous size, and then we'll get the size again after you erase it, and to see if it gets smaller. And I think that should be it. I meant to do some if checks in here, like making sure that this position exists in this dictionary, because sometimes it may possibly may not be there for whatever reason. It should be there, but better to be safe to that add an if check to see if this position it exists in that dictionary. There's some checks that we can do later. And let's go back down or go back up, making sure that we remove the tree, the old tree, and then we spawn a new tree at that same location. So the only other thing is looking into this and figure out what this is doing right now and why it needs an environment node here. So let's look into that real quick and see what exactly is it doing. Okay, so it goes in here, it passes the index, so then inside of that it calls the Eden A-star grid, which then uses that index. Okay, so it uses a tile map and gets the tile map and that index to remove interesting. So I grab all the tile information from it. And in my case, that's not going to happen because my tree is not a tile map anymore. So what I want to do is just be able to clear it out without needing to do this. So I may not even need to do that. So let's change that up on how this is going to happen for my trees. It's okay if it's happening for the tile map ones because it is a tile map, but for this tree it's not a tile map anymore. It's a note D, so I may not even need this, and I can do remove it from the A-star within this function and be able to add it back when I spawn the tree, I guess. Yeah. So I'll remove it here and add it back in here. Or backwards, I mean. Add it in here and remove it from down here. Alright, so let's figure out what those function names were. It's been a minute when I created those functions. We populate them. That's not that. Not the elevation. I think I have it commented out. Where is that function at? There we go. Set point not walkable. What about if I want to remove it though? Honestly, I should probably be doing it in here, which is fine. I should automatically already do it when I spawn. I mean, when it generates this world. So this point is blocked now, so I should not be able to, you know, go into this walkable area. But if I spawn it, there's no biggie if I were to do it. If it actually spawned it, what we can do here, there's two things we can do. Let's call this in here. I call this tile map, tile position, right? Godot vector 2i of this. There we go. Let's clean that up a little bit. There we go. And then instead of using this spatial X in here, you're just gonna use this. No, this is wrong too. There we go. Cool. Now I have that tile position and calls in here to set that point to be walkable, and I gotta do the same thing here. Wait, hold on. What is the name of the function if I wanna not set it to walkable and clear it out? Excuse me. I should be able to remove it though. I don't know why I only have add. I didn't create a remove solid point, did I? We have a function that says remove. Oh yeah, that's right. We don't want to use this anymore. So all I want to do is just set that point to be false. I guess we can update it. I was thinking of passing a parameter to it. And by default it's true, but you can set it to false, and then I can pass it in here as a Boolean value. Yeah, let's do that. So let's create a let's create a value for now, which is a bool, and set that to true. And then we'll pass it in here. Yeah, it can be solid, I guess. You can name it solid. So when we call that, we'll pass in the value here too. And it's gonna be a bool. And by default, you know, set it to true if you want. And we can pass it in here. After let's go in tile map. There we go. Let's clear it out. We can come back in here. On top, we were spawning it, so it's true. Just to be safe, let's call it true for now. It doesn't need it though. It doesn't need it. The one that needs is down here. Put it as false. Alright, so I need this thing here that we were doing on top, or I just call this a tile position, and here go vector 2i add that additional. Let's move this down too. All right, let's change this. There we go. It should be back to normal. This is false, and there we go. So I don't need this. My remove tree will remove that, so it should be fine. And in here, removes the old tree and spawns the new one. And that should make that not walkable already. Alright, let's try this out, shall we? And the game running? Nope. I don't know if it's gonna work in the test scene that I created. But we'll find out. We shall find out. As you know what, let me look at my other music here. Pokemon Center music. Oh, there's like real life people playing Pokemon music and jazz. Interesting. Anyway, let's try to select this one here. No ads, please. Now let's try this one. Alright. So we build already? Woo! Oh, it gives me goosebumps, this music here. Alright, let's see if it can make it work in the test scene. I don't know if it's just me, but Mario music is always, you know, it gives me goosebumps sometimes. Alright, let's smack some trees in here. 1, 2. Oop, crash. Oh no. Crash. So let's see what happened here. Let's debug it. And let's use my Edenville map here. See where it crashed at. Can I access the I mean, at least we know we went here. But there is a tree node. We crashed in here. Oh, there's no tile map layers. Oh, that's right. We're using the testing, so that makes sense. I don't initialize my tile map layers in the test scene. Okay, I figured out the problemo. Where do I initialize all of this stuff at? Aha, there we go. That's where I initialize it. Do I need to call it in generate? Can I do it in a ready function or something? I don't even have a ready function at all in here. Well, I can call it in initialize? Do I even call initializing here? Let's find out. Error log. Chunk tile map initialize. Let's see if it's going in there. Alright, let's build that. All right, that's built. Let's get into Godot. Are we good? I didn't even initialize correctly. There we go. Usually it halts for a second and then you're able to do it. So now it works. Let's run the testing again, and we'll see if it prints out that log. And if it does, that means it should have initialized it. Cool. So it is there. So let's find out if it crashes again. One, two, three. Okay, so it removed it, but it didn't spawn on the other one. Should have spawned a tree trunk. Alright, well, let's go through here. Let's put a debug here. Let's attach the process to it. Select the window, we select that, attach it, and let's go through it and see what's up. And see why it didn't actually on the tree trunk in here. Wait. Okay, so that's only happens if I hit 3 times in here. Okay. You know what, let's do it once. I want to know exactly what's going on in here if I'm able to. I need to fix this problemo here. Alright, so we're in the second hit already. I'm not going to be able to go in here though, sadly. I just want to know. I don't have access to this stuff in here. Boo. Yeah, I don't have access to data in here. Because if I hover over it, it gives me stuff that I don't understand. So I'm gonna have to wait till the 3rd hit, I guess. Let's see what's happening there. There we go. Okay, so we got the 3rd hit. Oh, it has no stages? Oh, I just removed the one right now. Okay. It's empty. There's nothing in here of this type. So technically it shouldn't even go in here then, right? It should go in here, which is... Let's find out. Let's step to it. It did go in here, okay. And it does that and it removes the tree automatically, but that's because stage is 0. Why is stage 0? You know why? I think I know why. I think I know why. That's because I spawned these myself without using the function, but it doesn't have an index, and the index is 0. So he thinks that it's a tree trunk instead of a... Because I spawned these myself. Do I have access to the index in here? Maybe it's something that I forgot to do. I do not have access to index at all here. I thought I was saving it in here. Yeah, I'm confused. Okay, so I'm in a tree. Did I not do anything with the index? I think that's the problem as well. I'm not doing anything with the index. Did I never created that? Whoops. Oh, well, then I need to create it then. I thought I created it too. I was spawning this tree, but in my case, since I'm spawning it manually and I'm never calling this function, one, it never sets this data that I'm trying to call, And two, I never created this function anyway, so it wouldn't work regardless. So let's create this function. All right, so let's create this function then. I thought I did create it. All right, so two things that I would like to be able to do in here. Is there a way to, hold on. The problem I'm having here is that I'm exporting this index, which I don't really like. I'm wondering, I only want to be able to set this as an export if that is true. But I may need to create a different script, which I've been meaning to do. Okay, so now I should be able to have access to this index. So when I select this tree, which tree am I selected? Big tree 2. I see. So this tree. If we remember correctly, the index for that, we go back to game manager. The index for big tree is this one here, so it's 2. So there should be 2 for the big trees. Oh, 2 the other way. We got a small tree index is the last one, so it should be 3. This is just temporary. I'm not gonna able to be doing this in game, or at least when I'm loading these things in and for a level, it should call my function call. Oh, this is a tree trunk. What am I doing? So we got 3, and you got 2. We got a big tree trunk in here. So we got a small tree trunk at 0 and big tree at 1. So this should be 1 and the other one should be 0. Alright, so let's test this out, shall we? And see if this fixes the problem that I'm having. What time is it? Oh, still a lot of time. Alright. So let's go in here. Go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it didn't actually fix the problem like I thought. Wait. So how does it grab the index out of this? So when I hit the tree in the axe action, how do I get the index out of it? Yeah, there we go. We need this function here. Let's pause that. Some stuff that I forgot to add. So I should be able to retrieve it too. Just int. And we return the index. Okie dokie. I'll put a debug breakpoint on all of this stuff in here and see if it's hitting this and making sure I'm getting the right stuff and getting me the right index and the stages and all of that. So let's do that right now. Put a breakpoint there. And let's build it. Actually, wait, no, it wasn't the. Oh well, it gets built again. All right. We'll put a breakpoint there. I didn't build Because everything was up to date, so it didn't matter. Okay. Alright, so let's run it. Let's get this test scene in here. And let's attach the program to this, the Visual Studio. Attach the process, select this, attach. Okay. So when I hit it, I should be able to, I should trigger that. Okay. Okay, so now we get a 2 now. Great. Get the resource ID. Resource ID. Whatever that ends up being. We got stage 2, which is great. And then we got the type of tree here. Cool. Now it's not empty as it was before. Alright, so let's detach that. 2. Let's go. Then if I keep hitting it, it should remove it. Oh no, it didn't. It didn't remove the last one. Close. We're halfway there. Not infinitely hitting it. Infinite amount of resources in there. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's figure out why it doesn't despawn the last one. So we get all of this stuff, spawn it. Oh, you know what? I think I need to reset the environment stuff in here. Right, because I already have it saved, correct? And since it's the same position, it keeps track with the previous one. And actually, don't you know what happens afterwards? I should have kept testing it. But I should be resetting it back when I do this in here. What is this one doing? So once the stage is 0, it does all of this stuff. I actually should have set this stage. And he sets this hits back to 0. He resets the data there. Stage for me for that tree trunk was 0 until I hit it 3 more times. And it's a tree. Then I should have despawned though. It should have despawned. I guess. This only overwrites. I see. This tree node. Wait. Is despawning the same tree? I believe so, because this object doesn't get updated. So I will need to update this object. Give me a second. I'm trying to think here how I want to. I can probably set it here. I need to return the tree node in here instead. As well, I mean. Be able to replace this object. So let's update this function to return the actual tree node as well. Have access to it outside. I'll retrieve it as a Godot node. And if it didn't spawn, I should just return the tree node outside here. And it's not, let's just do a 2 regular node then. Cool. So that's saved, that's saved. It's going here. And the problem is that when I swap the tree, it needs to remember. what the new object is. And then that should come in here and update it according. Either I could have done that, or I could have done an else in here and updated it there instead. Either or would have worked. Alright, so let's build this and let's try it again. Cool, done building. Let's run the testing. Pick up my axe. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Done. At least for that big tree. Let's test out the other ones. Making sure that they're gone for sure. And swaps to the small one. There we go. Sweet, it goes to the small tree trunk. Great. And let's test out these guys. And if these work, I mean, we're basically solid. We'll have to try it out in the actual level scene and not in the testing and see if it's working there. But so far, so good. Let's go. No more trees. Everything's working, gives you resources and all of that stuff. All right. All right, so there's one last thing I need to do, or maybe two things. I don't know how much I want to say. So the problem right now is that when I set the A-star, when I set the solid point, it sets it in this area here because, you know, this is the origin, and it will set it down here in this area. And you can't really offset those solid points to be in the center. So I may have to move this tree to be on this side instead. So that'll probably what I have to do right now. So I will have to move it over. (24) and 32 below. So it's positioned in the correct place. Should it be 32 or 16? Hold on. I don't want to set it to the 32. Hold on. What is the correct? Well, the tile is 16. So half of 16 should be 8. There we go. That's where it should be positioned at. Liam, welcome to the stream. In game design, what's the first thing someone should do when starting out? Oof, I'm not a game designer. That's a good question though. Well, what's the first thing a game designer should do when starting out? I guess for that, it just depends on the type of game that you're touching. Usually you get a game design document, you're able to read through that, and then start figuring out what's the what will be the first thing to do after that, after reading a game design document. and be able to make sure the game feels correctly and get all of the things that it needs to be implemented for that certain type of game. The game feel, all the formulas that the game that needs for that as well. I don't know what type of game it would be, but usually you would get a game design document for that. I just call it a GDD. And inside that GDD will tell you entirely what that game is about. Alright, so we will need to move this over as well. And since I don't know what's behind it, let's put a sprite behind it for the time being. Make that as white texture. This is just that for now. And let's put that in the back a little bit. And let's get the shadow out of the way. Yeah, we'll need to do that in here. Might as well put it like around there. And this is like around here as well. Then we have our shadow. Put it like around there. I should probably animate the shadow as well. Yeah, no problem, Leon. Apologize. I'm not really a game designer, so I didn't have like best answer for you. But here's something that I searched up right now, and I think this is a way better answer than I gave you. And it says, when starting out in game design, the first step is to develop a strong game concept. This involves brainstorming a unique and interesting idea, defining the game genre, and outlining its core mechanics and objectives. It's crucial to understand your target audience and what makes your game stand out from the competition. So yeah, it mentions a lot of bullet points in one of his game design document, which is what I mentioned. I'll probably post it in here. The constant development is think about what kind of game you want to create. You got research and inspiration that you want to look into, the game design document that I mentioned, and we can do like prototyping for the game and all that stuff. Yeah, that's probably a way better answer than I gave you. All right. Okay, so we got the shadow. We got in a good place. You may need to tweak the location of this a little bit, But so far, this is for the axe, so it shouldn't be a problem. It may need to expand it a little bit more though. That's okay. And let's delete the back end because I don't need that anymore. Alright, so we need to do that for the other trees as well. Well, in that case, if I do it this way, hold on, let me look at the position once again. I put it at 24, but I guess this will depend. Because the tile size is 16, so if I put it at 8, it will be right here. But this is also coming out a little bit onto this side. I mean, I can move it a little bit, so it's not too of a big deal, right? But I'm also coming off on this side already as well. This is a big boy tree. And the reason I mentioned it is that since this is 24, is that when I set the solid points for the Eden and for the A-star grid, I need to set 2 solid points. One for the initial position and the one next to it. So it doesn't actually like, hey, do it in there. Otherwise, if I put it all the way over here, it won't fit. Can it fit in a tile? That's basically what I'm trying to create here. Let's open up my... Let's open up a... Yeah, see, it's too chunky to be fitting in the tile right now. It has to be 2. But would it be a big deal if it actually touched this side? I don't think so. Hold on. I'm not gonna save it, I just want to see. If I were to save it here, it won't work. But I can put it somewhere in the center. Right when this is touching the corner of it. And I guess would it be a big deal if I'm able to select here? Because if I if in the game, in the level, if I click here, my player will go to this direction and probably be going here, which is not a big deal actually. I think I'll be fine with that. I think I should be fine with that. Well, let's see how it feels. Well, just leave it in game like that and see if that feels okay or not. But yeah, so let's do that. Alright, before I do anything, let's set this to 0. I don't want you moving right now. So like I mentioned, this needs to be touching the edge of it on the X, and then have 8 on the Y there. Do 7. Let's do 7. Oh, I didn't like it? What's going on? Why? Weird. Okay. We need to put this at 0 then. Yeah, that looks okay. Because I added an offset on it, which is 8. So putting it at 0 should be okay then. Yeah, that works. Right, now I need to move all of this other stuff over here. There we go. And then move my shadow. Sadly, I need to bring all that stuff back. Alright, so let's move that shadow out of the way. And actually closer. Put it there for now. Alright. Alright, so that's good for this tree. Now let's fix up this other tree here. Excuse me. Okay, so we got an offset of 4. So we can put 4 on the transformer here on the Y. And this can fit in one area here, so it's not a big deal. What's the size of this tree? 32. It'll be 16. Yeah, it shouldn't be that crazy. Just look at my thing here. And theoretically, you can just fit this tree. Basically, it'll fit in one area perfectly. Exactly 16 tiles on the trunk right there. Cool. So I can just leave it at 0 there and it should be fine. It should be fine here. Okie. Move that out of the way. Leave that there. A lot of memories with this song too. Woo. I'm here reminiscing on old songs, guys. I don't need to move it up since I changed the ordering on that. Get this art. Put 9 on it. There we go. I think it should be okay. Cool. Let's bring this bad boys back on again. And the tree trunk should be the same position as the big one here. Let's copy that value. Get this tree trunk out of the way. At least it should be. That way, when I spawn it, I don't see that jump in it. Yeah, should be fine there. Cool. And the shadow should be the same position as the tree trunk. It's big tree, I mean. So I'll just copy that value. Alright. So we got the small tree. And it'll be the same position as this one. Copy. Okay. Let's paste that in here. Did the music die? Or did my headphones die? It didn't even warn me that my headphones was dying. Great. I need that music. Give me a second, guys. Let me get my USB cable from here. There we go. Okay, and then the shadow should be the same position as this guy. Copy value. There we go. Alright, let's test it out and see how it looks in game. Okay, so it got shifted down a little bit, which is fine. I was expecting that. Okay. So everything's working like it should. Though my shader is not working anymore because I offset the position. I gotta look into that. Anyway, let me see if everything else works here. Let's go. I figure out why it does that all the time. Cool. Let's go. Alrighty. So fixing those trees, we'll test out the actual level and see if it actually works in the level. Let me look at this real quick. For the tree. If it's in depth, I gotta just spawn it just so that I enable the collisions. And I set the world position to the shader. It should have worked. Why is it offset it? Let's see. Let's do a print error on it. Oh, there's actually no, that's fine. That's the other ones. We got some 93. One was that. Make sure we set these positions correctly. We got one that's 93 and negative 29. We got one in 57. We got 144, which is down here. 213, negative 39. And then we got 271, 41. Yeah. So why is my shader off right there? I gotta look into this and why the shader is in the top right here. It actually does work correctly, it's just offset it too much. Maybe I don't need that offset anymore. Let's look at that shader. Nope. Let's look at this shader real quick. Do I pass in an offset? I do not. Yeah, I'll offset it by 5. Let's put 0 on it. Let's see if it's still. It's that huge offset on that. So it's a little lower now. Okay. But at this point I want it to happen already, so I might need to go negative. I may need to go negative on that. Let's do -2 on. Okay, so it's a little lower now. I may need to go just a tad bit more. Let's go with 4. No, it's still. How about the other trees? Let's go a big number. Let's jump up to 8. Okay. Oops. Whoa, what happened here? Why did I'm not able to go up here, but I can go up in this direction. Well, what happened there? Now I can do it. That's crazy. Actually, 8 worked perfectly. Exactly what I wanted. There we go. Cool. That was so weird. Well, you know what? It might be because it was delayed a second when I spawned it. That's right. That's what happened. Yeah, I know what happened. Okay, so this other one over here does not work that great. I mean to lower it down even further for that one. Either that, if it doesn't look that great, I may need to have this value exposed, so I can do it differently for each one, I guess. So let's see if it's still. Yeah, still looks great. Let's see the small one over here. Ugh. Not great on that one. Let's do 15. Let's go a bigger value here. I feel like this one's a little too big, but because it already exposes it at this point, which I don't want it to be exposed here. I'm gonna need to expose that variable for, because it's different per tree. But like for this one works at 15, but it doesn't work for the other one, so I'm gonna need to expose that. Alright, let's expose it real quick. Let's expose that offset. Uniform vec2 offset position. And let's set it to a vec2 of. Wait, it's just on the Y, right? Yeah. Let's do. I don't want a vec2. Let's do a Y. Do a float instead. And let's set that to. I think 10 was fine by default. And if I need to update that, then we'll update it. And for this tree here, we'll update it so it's 15. Oh, that's right, it's -10, right? Did I do that correctly? Yeah, sweet. So -15. Okay. Let's test it out with that now. Oh, I gotta remove that log. Remove log. Oh, so this one works like I want it to. And this one too. Let's go. Cool. Well, now we need to test it out in the actual game and see if it actually works in the level, I mean. But I want to remove that log because I don't need it anymore. Let's go to the script real quick. To the tree. And let's remove this print log here. Cool. That's gone. So let's test it out in the actual game. I don't think I have an axe, so I'm gonna need to spawn it for myself. Cool. Sweet. And like I said, I do not have an axe, so I need to spawn that for myself real quick. Got tool dash, I think it's axe. Find out if it is axe. Yes, let's go. Swap it with that. Okay, so we gotta figure out this A-star thing that we're having in here. I'm wondering if I spawned it correctly. But hey, I did smack it once. It's just the A-star is kind of conflicting with it right now. But it doesn't seem like it's working though. Hold on. Ooh. Yeah, we got some bugs going on in the actual world. Why is there multiple? Was it just me or was there multiple trees in there? Yeah, right? Looks like there's another tree on top of that. Ooh, interesting. Interessante. We got multiple points in that area. Let's find out why. Let's find out why is this. So we spawned a tree. Actually, I didn't even test this to see if it actually ended up working. $130. Yeah, it is $240 and then went to $239. Cool. So I don't need to test that. So just removing it from here. So that's fine. Okay. So let's iterate through all of this and figure out. We're iterating through all of this. Yeah, I think I know. I see the problem now. I need to go through the actual spatial position, spatial chunks. It takes me to that spatial chunk in here. And instead of going in environments, I need to go to spawn trees. Right? No, this environment's fine. Let me see, hold on. Maybe I'm confusing myself. We got the environments. But why am I iterating through all those environments? And then spawning them. Oh, that's fine. But why is it spawning multiple of them? At least that's what I'm thinking. It's like multiple stack on top of each other. So let's look into that. So once I go to this tile, I got the spatial chunk. And if there's already one defined, I set it to that. Let's recreate a new one. I grab that array, spatial chunk, and then push that new data for that tree. Use the pen and pass it into environments, and then pass it back to my spatial chunk. Trying to figure out why there was multiple trees spawn in that area. World position on the tile position that I'll save. From that position. Yeah, passing the positions tiled. And tile position divided with the spatial chunk. Determine the spatial chunk for that. Nothing to do. Is when I spawn these bad boys. Or I can do world position, I guess. Let's see how much they spawn in here. Is it because they're spawning too much or it's not? We can then check to see if there's multiple. Alright, so let's load that level again. We'll test it out and see what's going on. Dun, 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 dun. I didn't think there was gonna be that many trees. Okay, that's not too crazy. I don't see anything being stacked on top of each other. There we go, I'll probably have it here. So I print out all the positions for all the trees. And I don't see any that actually is spawned like stacked on top of each other. Like I'm trying to see 128 that's in here. Maybe another thing I can do. I said printing out. I gotta figure out why I said. Oh, those the old logs. Never mind. What I was gonna do right now is just copy this entire thing. Do like a notepad or something and see if we can find something that's in there. Battle Axe, welcome to the stream, buddy. How are you doing? A new file here. And see if we can find something similar to one of these in here. If there's any. Yeah, see, there isn't anything else, but why does it look like there's some stuff that is stacked on top of each other? Maybe not all of them have it? It's one match. Yeah, I think it is fine. It just looks weird. I'm just grabbing a couple and see if there's anything that matches it. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I think it should be fine then. Is it when I smacked it and that it looked like it was spawning another one on top of it? Let's look into that. Maybe the error's lying there instead. I got about 20 minutes actually. Alright, well, let's look into the code when I'm smacking these bad boys out of here. Maybe something wrong in that area. May have to attach some stuff. So when I hit the axe, I got the colliding one. Nowhere in here decides to spawn one. Excuse me. Nah, I should probably move that quest out of here. Wait, this is for the grass. Okay, so not too worried about that. Check to see if environment is true. What decides to go here? I think I have this wrong here. Maybe. Oh, because I only want to do it for trees, right? So all trees will go in here. So if it stages, if it's not, but it will only go here once I hit it 3 times. And remove this tree with no returns. Otherwise, I go to this tile layer and I remove it that way. And despawn this tree. Update my nodes in there. I don't need this either, actually. Why is it spawning multiple trees on top of each other? World position. Actually, you know what? I'm debugging it right now. I don't want to save anything yet. Oh, let's just put a breakpoint in there and see what's going on then. Let's attach it. Let's attach this bad boy. Go in here, attach. Let's see if it's even going. One, removing it. And then spawning it. Ooh, it's dark already. Let's add that tool. Axe onto it. And then swap it over. Oops. Alright, so we got a hit on spawning a tree right off the bat. Oh, it's because I entered a spatial chunk. Interesting, okay. Maybe it isn't despawning it correctly? Was I just on the edge of a spawn? Interesting. So right now it's telling me that it went to a new chunk and is updating everything. And I'm wondering if that is the cause of my trees spawning again. It's telling me that I entered a new spatial chunk. So it's going through all of this stuff in here and spawning new stuff, spawning new trees, which is why it's logging all the positions that I'm seeing in here. Interesting. Yeah, I think I found a bug already. If I understanding this bug right now. So every time I enter to a new chunk, I remove all the chunks that I initially goes out of scope, right? You never see them again because they're too far now. So I despawn them. But then again, I go through all of my arrays, all my current trees that I have currently, and I'm spawning all of those again. And I shouldn't be spawning all of them, but I should only be spawning for the new chunk that got created. Okay, well, I see the problem then. Why there's so many trees in that area. So we definitely got to fix that. Alright, let's remove all of that stuff in here. I don't need that. That is definitely a problemo right there. Where's this other initialize? I'm removing all these logs because then I forget about them. Okay. Okay, so let's figure out what chunks I need to update. And then we can go from there. We can theoretically this similar to what we were doing with the bigger chunks of the level. And we're determining which tiles that needs to be updated, I mean. Okay, so it's not in here. That generates all that stuff first time. Else we tell what chunks to update if I go to the left. So let's just put it, it's gonna be aired out right now. Let's see what I can do with that. So if I go to the left, I use that chunks to update. Same thing here. If I go to the right, and let's turn this off. Chunks to update. If it's there. And then the last one, if I'm going on the bottom. Well, first of all, let me check to see. So I'm iterating through all of them. Instead of iterating through all of them, I should only iterate through the chunks that I'm gonna be initializing, that I need to spawn the trees for, rather than spawning all the chunks already. There's already chunks that are, the trees are already spawned, and I don't want to spawn them again. So I'll keep track of what chunks I need to update accordingly. I think this is the direction that I want to do. Hold on. I'm gonna need to draw it out. Give me a sec. Let me do scatter draw again. I thought I had it open. What happened to my previous scatter draw? And it's gone. Whatever happened to you? You are gone. Oh, it's right here. Alright, so let's picture this a little bit better then, shall we? I gotta think about it, this and how I want to handle it. Let's just reset most of this stuff here. Actually, no, I don't want to delete everything. Can I delete that? Yes, there we go. Well, we got this chunk here, right? So if I am moving to, the player is always in the center, right? The player will always be here at all times. So if the player decides to move to the left, that means that this whole other chunk gets created on this side, and this is gone, right? And then the player will move over to this side now when the player moves to the left. So now he will be here. Let's put it here, because this side is completely gone now. We don't need it anymore. It's gone. And now we have this new grid that we are in. It removes these tiles. Let's move it a little bit to the side a little bit. And let's look at what we're doing here. So when I move to the left, I'm removing all these other chunks. So I remove the tile that's on top. So my current position here, I increase it by 1. Hold on. He's using the previous position, not the current position yet. But before I move the player over, he's still in this position here. Before I move it over, the player, I go to the next chunk that's in here. That's why it's doing a +1, then doing a -1. So all the chunks, the trees that were on this top chunk is gone. I keep track of it. I keep track of the right one, and I keep track of the bottom one. So now I don't want to spawn the trees for these because they're already there, right? The only trees I need to spawn is the ones that are on this side. So I got to do the same thing that I'm doing here. and spawned the trees that were on the left side of this. Okay, let's see. All right, so instead of I gotta do something with this. This will only happen the first time a level gets created, because I need to initialize everybody, right? But afterwards, I only need to spawn the ones that are actually. I'm not gonna use these anymore. I thought it was. So let's append this, and we want to add this grid into the list. And how we do that, we can get the top left one. Get the top left spatial position X, and we do a -1 on that. Actually, I need to create a Godot vector. And then we get the top left spatial Y. That's it. So that's the left side. We gotta do it 3 more times. So let's get the center one. The center one is just the left spatial position dot X -1. And then the bottom left spatial position dot X. And we do a -1 here on both. No, I don't need to do it both because it's already down here. Never mind, just on the X. Cool, so we do that. And then we got to do it for the other sides as well, if I'm going to the right side, right? So instead of going in this direction, I'm at, the player ended up going, let's say this, it was the direction of, the player decided to go left. So this is gone. And it creates another one on this side and now. And this is the one that we want to add into the list. So instead of being top left, it will be right, on top right. Spatial position, instead of -1, it will be 1. So it uses this one now. And then when you use the right position, spatial position, and it will select this one, and then we want this bottom one here. So it'll be bottom right spatial position. Just make sure I actually use the correct ones though. That and that. Let's double check. I'm not seeing it. Cool. And this is a +1 down here. Excuse me. What time is it? Oof, I'm about to head out. Because it is that time. So now I want to do if I'm going up. Right, so these ones are gone. So let's do that real quick. So let's say the player decided to move up on the grid. So that means these new ones on top is going to be created. So we want to add those. I don't need these anymore. And then we want to use the top left like we said earlier. Actually, no, let's copy the top one actually. No, it's fine. I was just going to copy it, but never mind. Top left, spatial position. And instead of doing a +1 on this side, it's going to be a -1 on here because we're going up. Right? So it was top left spatial position is this, and we're going up. And we get the top spatial position. And it's the same thing. Right? It's up here. And we do a -1 to go to the top. And then top right spatial position. And we're going -1 on that. I want to do the same thing for the last one. Similar. Right, but instead of top left will be bottom left. Bottom left space position. And instead of -1 will be a +1. We use bottom spatial position for this. And instead of a -1, it should be a plus. And on bottom right, spatial position be a plus. Cool. And the only time that this would do this if it's the first time initializing the world, I will actually want to actually iterate through all the grids. And after it's not the first time, it will only iterate through all of these new chunks that I created. Cool. It's not going to work the first time because I got to figure out this boolean and how I'm setting it. But I'm running out of time already, guys. So I will probably have to do this off screen. And hopefully in the next stream we can do something different. I've been doing this for like three streams already. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it happens. Depends on how it goes. But cool, guys. I hope you guys have a great day and a wonderful night, depending on your time. Thank you guys for joining on the stream, or if you're watching this later on as an upload when it gets uploaded. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Signing out, guys. Have a good one.